Packers and the Bears. So all this game is about, I can't wait for this. It's all about the Bears. It's all about Ben Johnson. It's all about Caleb Williams. It's all about Chicago finally finding the quarterback. They're at home. I mean, literally, when the Packers are in a playoff game, usually they're the one that's talked about. They're like the opening act. They're the appetizer. The entree is the Chicago Bears. And we know Green Bay's well run, but Nick Wright was on the show yesterday and made an interesting point about the Packers head coach, Matt LaFleur.
For a guy who is just universally respected as this really good coach, it is interesting to me that his final year with Rodgers, they were playing in Week 18, that if they won, they would be the 7 seed. Then his first year with Love, they were the 7 seed. And then last year, his second year with Love, they were the 7 seed. And this year, the Packers find themselves as the 7 seed. Nobody has benefited more from NFL playoff expansion than the Matt LaFleur Green Bay Packers.
So 4 years in a row, actually, they make the playoffs. If the playoff expansion didn't happen, they would not make the playoffs. And I think I've always looked at Green Bay differently. They have challenges like the Milwaukee Brewers do in baseball now, competing against the Dodgers, or Wisconsin football has competing against Ohio State and Michigan. They don't get the same players. I think Green Bay's got challenges. By the way, third straight year, Green Bay was the youngest team in the league. Why? It's not a place free agents clamor for. They often have to make a big trade and overpay. They overpaid for an offensive lineman this year. It's the smallest city. They don't have an owner. Aaron Rodgers is still trying to sell his house in Green Bay. Matt Stafford could sell his place on the Strand in 15 minutes. So Green Bay is one of those cities that I've always looked at them. I always said if Wisconsin gets to a Rose Bowl, that's Ohio State winning the national championship. If Milwaukee gets to if they beat the Dodgers in the postseason, that is like a World Series. They're not going to beat another team and another team. And I look at Green Bay, I think they've been remarkably successful considering they have to largely, I read something this morning that they had signed for the third fewest year? Yeah, 3 straight seasons, the fewest free agent signings, Green Bay Packers. Third straight year, youngest team. I mean, when they made the Micah deal, what was our reaction to that? Wait, what? Packers don't do that. That's what Philadelphia does. That's what the Rams do. You look around, you could see a host of teams doing the Micah Parsons deal. We were all shocked that Green Bay did it. So I just think differently about Green Bay. Favre and Rodgers and Jordan Love, it's been like 35 some years, it feels like, of having elite quarterbacks. And they got 2 trophies. And I think, like if the Brewers won a World Series, if I told you they're going to win a World Series, you would be kind of surprised.
All right, let's center this discussion on the Green Bay Packers. I'm not here to talk about the Milwaukee Brewers, but I find the current narrative rather rich. This is a classic bit of rhetorical sleight of hand. A commentator will simultaneously downplay Jordan Love's ability, express skepticism about Aaron Rodgers' later years in Green Bay, and then lay the entirety of the franchise's recent 7-seed finishes at the feet of Matt LaFleur. The logic is circular. You assert the quarterback wasn't performing at an elite level, then critique the coach for not achieving more with that same quarterback. Then, Jordan Love steps in as a first-year starter, a player you also doubted. And what happens? They not only reach the playoffs, but deliver a stunning, dominant victory over the Dallas Cowboys. That was the very team you predicted would reach the Super Bowl, led by the quarterback you declared the MVP, Dak Prescott. Who looked superior in that matchup? The Green Bay Packers. Which individual played better? Jordan Love. They subsequently lost a tough, hard-fought game to the San Francisco 49ers. The following season, the team was ravaged by injuries, Jordan Love included. This year, the injury bug struck again. It's simply an unfortunate sequence of events, a genuine bummer, the way the timeline unfolded. Sometimes, that's just the brutal reality of the sport. What truly fascinates me now is the overwhelming media focus proclaiming, it's all about the Bears. That narrative should make the blood of every Packers fan boil. It's precisely why I was so vocal about wanting a Packers-Bears playoff clash. I craved that matchup. I needed it. Every time this game is discussed, I find myself straddling two perspectives, as I typically prefer to focus on one team per analysis. While this is clearly a Packers-centric video, the undeniable truth is that the national conversation is fixated on Chicago. The hype, the fresh energy, the Ben Johnson-Caleb Williams connection, the massive Chicago market, it's all pointing in one direction. I'm telling you, there are a lot of crossed fingers in media circles. Please, Bears, win. Please, Bears, win. They want that storyline desperately. A Bears run to the NFC Championship is viewed as a bigger, more profound, and more popular story than one featuring Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love. That inherent disrespect should serve as pure rocket fuel for this Packers team. It creates a deep-seated revenge factor, a mentality of, we are coming for you. You are still little brother. Just wait and see. The Packers had both regular season meetings within their grasp. The belief that they can seize victory in this third, decisive encounter is palpable. I am ecstatic this game is on Saturday. If I had to wait until Sunday or Monday, the anticipation would be agonizing. This contest is going to be brutally tough, intensely physical, and emotionally charged. The crowd will be deafening, the fan base manic. I cannot wait. Here's the reality check. The Bears possess a massive market, but the Green Bay Packers fan base, whether through sheer volume or unmatched intensity, is a unique force. I often discuss engagement metrics. Watching videos in full and subscribing concurrently genuinely amplifies reach. This isn't about mindlessly chasing numbers. It's about creating content people authentically want to consume, enabling me to produce the best possible Packers analysis and foster real, grounded conversations. Some fan bases require constant encouragement to engage, not Green Bay. Despite being labeled a small, forgotten market, they consistently rise to the occasion. A significant portion of my most viewed content features the Packers, yet they don't receive proportional discussion on major platforms at the same rate or volume as other marquee franchises. There's a reason flagship shows don't lead with the Jacksonville Jaguars or Houston Texans. A prominent host has been candid about this. He unapologetically chases ratings and discusses popular teams. I respect that honesty. It's the business. If he focused solely on niche teams, he wouldn't be who he is. This dynamic makes Green Bay's fervor so compelling. They aren't constantly centered in the national dialogue, but they absolutely, positively show up in force. To me, that's a testament to their passion. Another team that similarly punches above its media weight is the Houston Texans, though Houston's massive Texas market makes more intuitive sense. Green Bay? I guarantee many casual observers couldn't place it on a map. Green Bay? Is that in Wisconsin, Kentucky, Kansas? It's this peculiarity that adds to the intrigue. While I don't typically buy into historic rivalries defining modern matchups, these are fundamentally new teams, distinct from the Favre or even Rodgers eras. I understand why it matters here. The notion that the Bears can declare, "Your time is done, it's our time now," is a thrilling prospect. Conversely, the Packers retort, "That's great you finally made the playoffs, you're still not beating us," is equally electrifying. This game is pure box office, I just hope for a clean, healthy game. I assume Jordan Love is playing. He must be out of the protocol by now. I know he's itching to compete. I expect a genuine, high-quality effort from both sides, but particularly from Green Bay. If their performance resembles the disorganized showing against the Philadelphia Eagles we witnessed earlier, I will be profoundly disappointed. I dissected that game extensively. It was not their standard. I'm not relitigating last season's playoff exit. Injuries, Love's intermittent availability. There were justifiable reasons for that outcome. The current roster is also banged up, but I expect a supremely organized, high-level effort that positions them to win. We just saw what the Detroit Lions, in a meaningless game for them, accomplished against these Bears. From my viewpoint, there is zero excuse for the Packers not to be equally prepared and competitive. I reject any notion that the Bears were flat or not taking it seriously. The Lions' defense isn't exactly overflowing with healthy, elite talent either. Therefore, I don't merely expect great production from Green Bay. I demand it. I demand high-quality playoff football from the Packers. Anything less will be a genuine letdown, and I will look directly at Matt Lafleur. He has failed this specific challenge, delivering in critical, prove-it moments a handful of times in his tenure. I've highlighted those instances, like the sideline altercation with a fan last year against Detroit. That is not championship comportment. Defending Lafleur from broad brush criticism doesn't preclude holding him accountable for specific failures. For teams like the Green Bay Packers, my demands are elevated. I expect more because my respect for the franchise and my belief in their potential are higher. This isn't an arbitrary standard applied to every team. It's a specific benchmark for Green Bay, especially heading into a clash with Chicago. So, yes. Saturday. Let's get after it. I believe I'll be live streaming the game, and I cannot wait. Those are my reflections. I am eager to hear yours. What do you think about the Green Bay Packers? The narrative says they're no longer the story of the North. It's the Chicago Bears. How does that sit with you? Does it stir anger? Show me on the feelings chart. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. Whether you agree or disagree, let's dive into discussion, even spirited debate. But ultimately, let's enjoy the exchange. Please consider subscribing. We are building a fantastic community here and would love for you to join. My aim is to create a space where we feel authentically connected and excited to participate. I believe we're well on our way. Also, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it genuinely helps with visibility and the platform's algorithm. Thank you so much. Until next time.